Hello and welcome to you all. This new session 2020-21 class BA first year, subject English literature. Students, you have completed your schools successfully and now you have entered into college and you are new at this college, and I welcome to you all, and I hope you are very enthusiastic towards your studies. Because of COVID-19 we are late this year, but I think you will do your best. And we are late, but finally, by hook and crook, we have started this session, and you will have to include more seriously in your studies. So we will start our syllabus of BA Part First, subject English Literature, paper second, that is prose and fiction. In this paper, we will study prose and fiction. It means we will study essays, short stories, novels from different writers, and we will start this paper with, with the writer Francis Bacon and with his essay of studies. Before we start our essay of studies, we should come to know something about literary history, because for the sake of convenience of studies, English literature is divided into different periods, and this for the sake of studies of English literature, it is divided into different periods, and it covers a period of almost 2000 years. And our writer Francis Bacon belongs to the age of Elizabeth. Means he is an Elizabethan writer. He is an Elizabethan prose writer. Elizabeth, the age of Elizabeth covers the time period from 1558 to 1603. And the age of Elizabeth is known as age of poetry, because at this time many poets emerged, and first they wrote first degree poems, and because of this abundance of poetry, Elizabethan age is known as nest of singing birds. But prose writers also emerged at this time, and Bacon is one of them. When we have a view on Elizabethan prose, we will include this discussion. The Elizabeth age has well been called a young age. It was full of boundless vigor, reawakened intellectual earnestness, and unfettered, soaring imagination. The best fruits of the age are enshrined in poetry, in which all these elements can be waftingly contained. In poetry, There are restrictions of versification which exerted some check on the youthful imagination and vigor of the Elizabethans. Consequently, Elizabethan poetry is very great, but prose does not admit of any restrictions, and the result is that Elizabethan prose is as one run amok. Too much of liberty has taken away much of its merit. During the 15th century, Latin was the medium of expression, and almost all the important prose works were written in that language. It was in the 16th century, particularly in its latter half, that the English language came to its own. With the arrival of cheap mass printing, English prose became the popular medium for works aiming both at amusement and instruction. The books which date from this period cover many departments of learning. We have the chronicles of such writers as Stowe and Holinshed recapturing the history of England, though mixed with legends and myths. Writers like Harrison and Steps took upon themselves the task of describing the England not of the past but of their own age. Many writers, most of the writers from this age did not mention their name, and they wrote accounts of their voyage which had carried them to many hitherto unknown lands in and across the western seas. Then there are so many novelists who translated Italian stories and wrote stories of their own after the Italian models. There are also quite a few writers who wrote on religion, and last of all, there is a host of templatiers who dealt with issues of temporary interest. And in this age, there were many writers who wrote prose, such as John Lilly, Robert Greene, Philip Sidney, Richard Hooker, Francis Bacon. And in our syllabus, we have Francis Bacon, and Bacon's English prose style, which has been called style couple or anti-Ciceronian style, is opposed to his predecessors. Much of what Bacon wrote appeared in the age of James I. However, the first edition of his essay appeared in 1597. Bacon wrote many essays, and he followed Charles Montel, an essay writer from France, uh, and Bacon is first who wrote in English, who wrote essays in English, and his collection of essays appeared at different times in different years. His first volume of essays appeared in the year 1597, and when we will discuss Francis Bacon in detail, then Francis Bacon is considered as philosopher, statesman, scientist, and essayist. And Bacon is best known for inductive method for leading the scientific revolution with his new observation and experimentation theory, which is the way science has been conducted ever since. He is a famous essayist and is known as the father of the English essays. His essays are full of common sense and epigrammatic wit because he wrote many in few words. His style is dense, pithy, and condensed. Epigrammatic implies effectively concise and ingenious expression. The impact of the Renaissance is clearly evident in his writings. The range of his interest is vast, and he has written on various aspects of everyday life. Some are philosophical, some are witty, some are deep, some are humorous. He sets new standards of precision and simplicity, which were later accepted as the hallmarks of good prose. His style of essay writing is neither dogmatic nor didactic, rather, he writes in a friendly manner, one is speaking to another. And it is this reason that his essays are called counsels, civil, and moral. Cumulatively, his essays can be entitled as counsels, civil, and moral. And we can say that his essays are full of worldly wisdom. He tries to teach human beings to deal with worldly affairs. One can learn from his essays to live his life. Now we will have some discussion on his essay of studies. In this essay, Francis Bacon examines the benefits and effects of studies, maintaining that when studies are balanced by experience, diverse studies may help counter personal imperfections. Bacon proposes that studies have three purposes. For one's own entertainment, second, to impress others and bring attention to oneself, and third one is to gain competence and proficiency for learned man handle matters skillfully. Too much study may be considered a shortcoming. So, at the same time, Bacon also advises people to study books in a different way. He says that one should not spend much time in his studies, and all books are not to be read, but all books are not to be read from front to the back, but we should consider this thing which book we should study. Too much study may be considered a shortcoming, as the individual studying may be considered by others to be self indulgent or even lazy if they appear to be studying and not doing much else. Just to do what books tell you to do and nothing else is characteristic of an academic bookish individual. Studying alone is insufficient. Learning must also be accompanied by real life experience as they counterbalance each other. Abilities are strengthened and capabilities balanced by studies. Cunning individuals regard studies with contempt because concepts learned from books might thwart their device goals. Unpretentious individuals advance studies because they themselves may have had little opportunity to study, and an astute individual makes good use of studies and knowledge gained by studying as a tool to glean more information. So, by reading this essay by Bacon, one can learn to use his studies in his practical life. He can apply, one can apply his studies in his dealing of worldly affairs. So, here discussed we have discussed something on literary history of Elizabethan prose and something about the author, and we have taken a view on his essay of studies. Next, we will do his essay in detail